And certain foods, certain vegetables can be cooked. Now there is a way to cook the vegetables or the food. There are 3 ways, conservative methods of cooking. Now let us talk about conservative methods of cooking. The first and the foremost method is baking, and then secondly is your steaming and then boiling. Other methods are also there, like some people cook it in a kadhai, shallow fry it, or deep fry is not something which we recommend because it's not good for our health. But the baking is the best method. In this method, the vegetables are cooked in their own water, and that is why it is considered to be good. Secondly, the steaming method, the water is provided from the outside for steaming to cook that vegetables, but the vapor is still inside that vessel. It's not evaporating outside. So the nutrients is still inside those vegetables, so it's good. Third is boiling. So in boiling, one must keep in mind that the water vapor should not go out from that vessel, because all the nutrients are there in that water vapor. So all those criteria, understanding must be kept in mind while you're cooking the food, so that mostly all the nutrients are restored and not lost. Now in natural health science, we do allow certain amount of roasting of certain seeds, or for tadka that we allow, or for certain roasting of nuts that we allow, but it should not be overdone. The material or the nuts or the seeds should not change its color. That precaution one has to keep in mind, and little bit of roasting is allowed, and then that can be done. After understanding how that one should cook their food, it is also important to understand on which vessels it is good to cook your own food. So earlier times, people used to cook in earthen pots. Those were the best. So if someone can continue eating and cooking the food in earthen pots and vessels, these are the best utensils for the cooking. Now, apart from earthen vessels, there are vessels that you can use which are steel. So these steel vessels also can be used. Now other kinds of vessels, for example aluminium, brass, copper, or any other metallic vessels are not good for cooking, because when the food are cooked in such kind of utensils, it become poisonous and bad for health. When anything is cooked in that, and when you put oil, little bit of oil also, it reacts. So that is why it is advisable to use earthen pots or steel for cooking or for eating. So while cooking, we must not use chlorinated water for cooking. Why? Because chlorine can react chemically with the organic materials present in the water, and because of which there is carcinogenic materials or substances which are formed if such reaction happens, and that substance which is formed is called trihalomethane. So we must not use such kind of water. So any sun treated water that can be used while cooking, or any filtered water done in a very basic way, that can be done to use that for cooking. And also one of the quote by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that he says to Arjuna, I am the taste in the water. So this means that we must not overlook the taste factor when we are having any water. If it is not giving you taste, if it is not sweet in nature, if it is not giving you that needed satisfaction when you're having that water, it's not good for you or for your body.
So when the human beings started to settle down, they started to cook, and the cooking begins, and the kind of foods that we started eating also started to expand, and human beings also started to explore different ways of cooking and eating also in that sense. So there are many ways that we know. There is baking, steaming, boiling, roasting, and so many other things. So in the if we see that baking is better than steaming and steaming is better than boiling, and so it is like in comparison that we understand that wherever we are preserving the goodness and the nutrients of the food or the vegetables or the or any kind of thing that we are cooking, that is the best way of cooking. So in baking, we are we are cooking the food in its own water. So do not overcook the food, as the micronutrients and minerals are lost in the process of cooking. So as much as possible, eat raw. And you can always have a conservatively cooked food, which means less of oil and less of cooking. Till the point you can cook a vegetable which needs cooking, till the point you can chew it with your own teeth. You should not overcook it that it goes into your mouth and it melts. So that's not the best way of cooking. So food is very, very integral part of our life, and we know now that we must eat for health. We must eat those kinds of food which gives us good health. So apart from eating positive foods and good and better foods, we must also have other healthy lifestyle in our day-to-day life, like in terms of ample exercise. We must have adequate rest. We must have positive thoughts and mental poise, and also engaging ourselves in activities that involves our passion and skill to help others. So we must adopt a total approach to a healthy life.